Well, hello again, everyone. Professor Profit coming to you from Gamblers University. And today's strategy is a little different. This one's a very conservative one, low buy-in, but it's one that you'll might want to put in your toolbox if you just want to spend some time at the casino. Perhaps you're waiting on somebody you're meeting for lunch or dinner, or again, you just want to like the atmosphere of the casino. You've had a long day and you don't want to risk a lot of money, but you want to play and maybe have an adult beverage while you're doing so. $300 buy-in. This one's called the 21-23 roulette strategy. Now, we don't really have a win goal in this one because you're not going to win a lot, you're not going to lose a lot. Again, a very conservative strategy. We hope you enjoyed. If you do, we ask that you give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, we'd love to have you do that. It'd really help the channel out. As always, we suggest you try this strategy or any of them on your software at home or a table at home and get comfortable betting them and be confident that they can win you some money, or in this case, not lose you much either way. So we're going to head on down to the felt now, and we'll show you the nuts and bolts of the 21-23 roulette strategy. So we will see you down there shortly. All right, everyone, down on the virtual roulette table, and we're getting ready to spin our 21-23 roulette strategy. Now, this is only a $300 buy-in. Very conservative. We're not going to win a lot of money. We're not going to lose a lot of money. This is just something to play if you want to spend some time in the casino with a low-risk game. So again, $300 buy-in. We don't really have a win goal. We're just going to play for fun here and hope when this is over with, we come out ahead. Now, we're only going to bet even money bets, so we'll start off at the 1 to 18 on the low, and we'll bet 2 units. We're going to use $5 units here. So 2 units would be $10, and let's spin. See if we can get off to a good start here. 12 red's a good start. So now when we win, our next bet's going to be reduced down to 1 unit, which is $5. So let's go ahead and spin again. See if we can get another red number here, 11 black, so that's a loss. And when you lose, you just start over in the sequence again, which is 2 units. We're going to move to the even this time, another even money bet. $10, which is 2 units. And if you're playing $1 units, of course, it'd just be $2. But I think you'd probably bore yourself to death playing that low. So there's a win. So we go down to 1 unit after the first win. And we'll spin it again. And there's 28 black. And that's another win. So if we win the second time, we go back up to 2 units, 2, 1, 2. And then if we win this one, we'll go to 3 units. That's why it's the 21-23. 34 red, that is a win. So now we go to 3 units. And now, win or lose, now we'll start back over on the sequence with a 2 unit bet. And there's 9 red, so that is a loss. So we just keep moving to the right, and we'll go start over the sequence. We'll go 2 units on the color red, and we're spinning. As you can tell, we're up $25, and we do hit red, so that's a good one for us. And let's reduce down to 1 unit for our second spin now. And that's black, so we start over the sequence again. And we'll move to the right, so we'll go to black now for 2 units, which is $10, and we will spin. And there's red, so that's a loss. So on losses, we just stay right where we are. We'll stay at the $10 or the 2 unit bet, which is $10. And there's black, so that's a win. And now we'll drop down to $5 after that win, 1 unit. And spin again. Red 14 is a loss, so that's the end of that sequence. So we'll move to the right to go to the odd for 2 units or $10. And we are spinning. And there's 29 black, so that is a winner. So on the first one, we go down to 1 unit, which is a $5 bet. We're playing $5 units here. And there's the green monster, so that's going to be a loss. So we start the sequence over again with 2 units on the high this time, 19 to 36. And we hit 8, which is a loss. So we'll stay right where we are at the 2 unit level, rebet, and spin again. And there's 28 black, so that's going to be a win for us. So on the win, we drop down to 1 unit and spin again. 7 reds are going to be a loss. So that'll end that sequence. We'll start back over on the low, the 1 to 18 for 2 units, and give it a spin. And there's 17 black, so that's going to be a win for us. And the next bet will be 1 unit, $5, and we're spinning again. And there's 31 black, so that's a loss. So we start the sequence over again. We move over to even now for 2 units or $10. And we give it a whirl. And there's 0, so that's going to be a loss. So we'll stay right where we are and put 2 units on even again and give it a spin. Here we go. There's 24 black, so that is a win. So now we'll go down to 1 unit and spin again. And there's the green monster once again. So that's 2 out of the last 3 and 3 out of the last 9. So that's a lot of green. So let's move over to red now for 2 units, $10 as we start the 21-23 sequence again. And there's black 24, so that's going to be a loss. So just rebet, spin again. And there's red 7, so that'll be a win for us. So we'll reduce down to 1 unit now, spin again. I think we've only made it through the sequence 1 time so far. So there's red 32, so that's another win for us. So we'll go back up to 2 units now and give it another spin. And there's the black number, so we lose there. So now we move over to black, and we'll go 2 units on black and give it a spin. And we hit red, so that's a loss. So we'll just stay at the 2 unit level on black and spin again. And we hit black this time, 22 black. So we go down to 1 unit now, $5 bet. And we're spinning. And there's another black number, 31 black. So now we'll go back up to 2 units and give it another spin. And there's that green monster again. Wow. So that ends that sequence. We go over to odd for 2 units or $10. And we're spinning. And there's 25 red, so that's a win for us. It's always nice to get the first one. And we drop down to 1 unit and we're spinning again. And there's that 0 again. Wow. So now we go over to the high 19 to 36 for 2 units as we start the sequence over. And there's 24 black, so that'll be a win for us. And we drop down to 1 unit now and spin again. There's 20 black, so that's a win. So back up to 2 units now, and we're spinning again. 8 black's going to be a loss. So we start over the sequence on the low for 2 units, and we're spinning. And 35 black's not going to help us, that's a loss, so we'll just rebet and spin again. Still looking for something between 1 and 18 here. 17 will work, that's a win for us. So we drop down to 1 unit and spin again. And 13 black's a win, so we'll take that one. And we go back up to 2 units now on the 21-23 sequence. And we hit that one also, that's 11. So now we go to the final step of our 21-23 sequence with 3 units on the low. Let's see if we can complete the sequence here. And 22 black is not what we're looking for. That's a loss. So we start over, move over to even, and start the sequence over with 2 units. And that's 11 black. So that's going to be a loss. So we'll just rebet and spin again. Here we go. There's 7 red, so that's another loss. That's 2 in a row. So let's rebet it again. And what I'll do, if I get 3 losses in a row, I'll just move on to another bet. No reason beating that horse. We happen to win this one though, so we'll stay here and we'll go down to 1 unit. Spin again. See if we can get another even number. 25 is not 1, so we'll move on over to red now. Start the sequence over, 2 units. And we're spinning for a red number. And that doesn't look like it's red to me, 35 black, so we'll rebet. 2 units again and give it another spin. And there's 14 red, so that's a win for us. And we'll drop down to 1 unit now and give it another spin. And there's red again. So that's another win, and we'll go back up to 2 units now in the sequence. And we hit black, so we lose that one. So now we'll move over to black for 2 units and give it a spin. 21 red's a loss, so that's our first loss. So we'll just rebet, spin again. And there's 13 black, so that's a win for us. And so the next bet is for 1 unit in the 21-23 sequence. This is the second in the sequence. 29 black's a win, so now we'll go to the third step in the sequence. And we're back up to 2 units, or a $10 bet. And we're still looking for black. 34 red's not going to help us there, so that's a loss. So 2 units on odd now as we move on down the board. Only even money bets here. And there's 5 red, which is odd, so that's a win for us. So 1 unit on the next step in the sequence. And there's 11 black, so that's another win. So we'll go back up to 2 units on the third step of the sequence. And there's 4 black, which is a loss. So we'll go over to the high now for 2 units and give it a spin. There's 34 red, so that's a win for us. And we'll drop down to 1 unit, spin it again. And 1 red's a long way from being high, so that's a loss. And I think we're going to call this a session at this time. That's the 21-23 roulette session. And again, it's a very conservative strategy. You're not going to win a lot of money, but you're not going to lose a lot of money. So if you want to spend some time in the casino, if you're waiting on a lunch partner or a dinner partner, or just looking to spend some time in the atmosphere of a casino without risking a lot, this might be a good one to play to pass the time. So the 21-23 roulette strategy started off at $300, ended up at $310. So as you can see, not much swing either way. That's a $10 profit using the 21-23 roulette strategy. So that's a little different. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, we ask that you give us a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already subscribed, it'd really help us out if you'd go ahead and do that at this time. If you have a comment or a tweak on how this strategy might be improved, please leave it below. And we'll be glad to share it with everyone. Once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you come back and see us again real soon. Till that time, if you're out there spinning that wheel, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. And we hope all your numbers come up winners. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.